No one prepares you for this truth, not school, not religion, not even philosophy. One day you will die. And let me tell you something that will make you question everything you believe about life. The moment you truly understand what happens after your death, your life will never feel the same again. Right now, as you're listening to this, your life feels central. Your problems feel urgent. Your emotions feel heavy. Your story feels unfinished. You think that it will matter, that your struggles, your love, your presence will leave a lasting mark. You believe that people will remember, that your life will echo beyond your own time. But the reality is far harsher than any unfinished chapter you fear. At your funeral, people will cry. They'll speak words they never said while you were alive. They'll say, "I'll never forget you." They'll promise your family support they will never maintain. Then they'll leave, returning to their lives without you. Your wife will grieve, but she will move on and eventually marry again, as if you never mattered. Your children will remember you at first, then less, until only fragments remain. Your family will argue over what you left behind, not the struggles you endured to earn it. Friends who swore they'd always be there for your kids will quietly disappear. Not because they are cruel, but because your absence no longer demands effort. And this is where Sartre begins his lesson. The world does not collapse when you die. It adjusts. Most of us live as if we have endless time, as if life waits for our approval. We chase comfort, approval, and distraction, forgetting that presence is the only currency that ever mattered. Meaning does not wait for you. Life moves on, whether you are here to witness it or not. The truth is simple and terrifying. You only exist while you are alive. Once you're gone, all control vanishes. You can't defend your name. You can't correct the stories told about you. You can't protect the memories you treasure. When you are gone, the world continues. Your absence will not halt people's ambitions, their petty conflicts, or their daily routines. Your contributions will be remembered only insofar as they serve someone else's needs. What you built, saved, or sacrificed will become objects of convenience, not respect. Your legacy will not be preserved by love, but by usefulness. And even those who once promised loyalty will soon prioritize their own lives. Sartre's darkest insight is this: humans crave significance. They want to matter, to be remembered, to leave something behind. Yet the cruel truth is that relevance is granted by presence, not memory. Death strips away the illusion of permanence. It reveals the indifference of existence. The people you love most will continue living, not because they are heartless, but because the universe has no obligation to hold space for anyone. This is not a lesson in hopelessness. It is a reminder. Time is the only true measure of life. If no one truly thinks about you after you're gone, if love fades and promises dissolve, then the only life you can control, the only life that truly exists, is the one you live right now. Your choices today, how you treat people, how you work, what risks you take, are the only moments that will ever be fully yours. No one else can live them. No one else can defend them. Once you are gone, the world will carry on, indifferent to your absence. And that understanding is brutal, but it is also liberating, because it calls you to stop delaying, to stop living in illusions, and to demand meaning from the only place it can ever be found: the present moment. Take everyone's life as a movie. Every person around you is the main character of their own story. You are a supporting role at best, a cameo at worst. No matter how much you give, how much you sacrifice, or how much you try to be remembered, the world revolves around others living their scripts, not yours. When you die, those scripts don't stop. They don't pause. They continue exactly as they were written before you arrived, and they will continue long after you're gone. Your wife will find her new story, your children will grow up in someone else's narrative, and your friends will continue as if your scenes were minor plot points that fade with time. Life does not honor your exit. It simply moves forward. Think about your closest relationships, the ones you believe will always be there. Those friends who promised loyalty, those family members who swore support, even your spouse who once told you that life would be incomplete without you. All of them are protagonists in their own stories. And in every story, the main character is always the one whose needs, desires, and ambitions shape the plot. You are not the main character in their lives. You never were. The tragedy is that most men live as if they are. They spend years investing in people who will eventually continue without them. They pour energy into relationships, careers, possessions, and validation, thinking these investments guarantee relevance. But relevance is not something you can earn or demand. It is only granted by presence. Once you leave the stage, your influence fades. Your role becomes a memory, and memories are rewritten, diminished, or forgotten. Your children will remember you at first, but they will forget more with each passing year. They will replace the spaces you left with new experiences, new people, and new versions of themselves. Your family will argue over possessions, status, and inheritance. Not over your sacrifices, not over your dreams, not over the person you truly were. Friends will drift away quietly, not out of malice, but because life has no pause button. They will prioritize their own stories. Even your greatest deeds will lose their urgency. Achievements that once defined you will become details, cited only when convenient. Legacy, as you imagined it, does not exist in the way you believe. Death strips it away. Presence is the only currency that holds weight, and once it's gone, the world simply adapts. Sartre's harshest insight is that this isn't personal. No one intends to diminish you. The world does not conspire against you. It simply exists, indifferent to your disappearance. Everyone moves on because they must. Life is not obligated to make space for your absence. Meaning is not guaranteed. Love is not eternal. Loyalty is conditional on convenience. This realization should shake you to your core. If your absence is inevitable, and if the people you love most will continue without you, then the only life that matters is the one you live right now. You cannot postpone meaning. You cannot demand relevance after the fact. You cannot secure memory or loyalty once your presence disappears. Your story exists only in the present. Your influence exists only while you interact. Your legacy exists only as long as your actions affect living people. Once you are gone, everything continues without you, and you have no control over it. If this truth unsettles you, good. It should, because understanding it forces one question. How are you living today? Are you existing, or are you merely waiting for recognition that will never come? Are you investing in scripts that belong to other people, or are you writing your own story with the urgency it deserves? Sartre's reality is simple, and it is merciless. You exist only while you are alive. Most people spend their lives chasing illusions. Fame, approval, love, possessions, validation, as if these guarantees permanence. They behave as though their existence extends beyond the moment they occupy it, as if life owes them recognition or respect simply for breathing. But the universe does not care. Relevance is not granted for effort, intention, or suffering. It is granted only by presence, and presence lasts only while you are living. Everything else is temporary. Everything else fades. Your ideas, your ambitions, your dreams. They matter only if they influence someone now, if they are experienced in real time. Once you are gone, they cease to hold weight. Your influence disappears, not because people are cruel, but because existence itself does not preserve anything for you. Most men never internalize this. They wait, they delay. They think there is always tomorrow to act, to live fully, to make a difference. They tell themselves, I'll start next week, next month, next year. But Sartre's lesson is relentless. Tomorrow is only a promise you may not get. Life only happens in the moment you occupy it. This is why so many men die half alive. They fill their days with distractions, comfort, and convenience. They act as if presence isn't finite. They pour themselves into other people's narratives, hoping that connection, approval, or validation will extend their existence. But all of it is temporary. Approval disappears, attention fades, recognition vanishes. Presence is the only thing that lasts, and once it's gone, nothing else can replace it. Sartre's harshest insight is that you are fundamentally alone in your existence. Your choices, your actions, your awareness. No one else can live them for you. The moment you are not present, the weight of your being no longer matters. The world continues as if your life were one small subplot in someone else's story. And the more you wait for permission, validation, or recognition, the more of your life slips by, unnoticed, unclaimed, and wasted. This isn't pessimism. It is a challenge. It is a mirror held up to your life. How much of it are you actually living? Are you moving through the motions, hoping someone will remember you, or are you claiming your presence fully? Today, in this moment, Sartre forces us to confront that life is meaningless by default. Nothing obliges anyone to honor your existence. Nothing guarantees significance. You create meaning through action, presence, and awareness, and only in the moment of living. Tomorrow may never arrive, and memory is unreliable. What persists is what you do while you are alive, nothing more. If you let this sink in, it becomes terrifying. It becomes liberating. Because you realize the only power you have is now. The only legacy that matters is the one you forge with the life you are living today. Waiting, hoping, delaying, all of it is wasted presence. All of it is surrendering your life before it even ends. The question Sartre leaves us with is simple. Are you living, or are you merely existing? Are you taking ownership of your presence, or are you letting the world forget you while you still have time to matter? Before we go any further, do this one thing. If this video is speaking to you, subscribe. And write this in the comments, not for me, but for yourself. I only live once, but if I do it right, once is enough. Now listen carefully. Sartre would say that most people don't fail at life. They avoid it. They hide behind routines, excuses, and borrowed beliefs. They wait for the right moment. They wait for approval. They wait to feel ready. And in doing so, they slowly give their life away. You see, the most brutal truth is not that you will die. It's that long before death arrives, most people stop choosing. They let circumstances decide. They let fear decide. They let comfort decide. They wake up, repeat the same days, chase the same distractions, and call it living. But Sartre dismantles this illusion completely. He reminds us that every moment you don't choose, you are still choosing. You are choosing passivity. You are choosing safety. You're choosing to let your life be shaped by forces that don't care about you. This is what existential freedom really means, and why it terrifies people. You are not trapped by fate. You are not defined by your past. You are not waiting for permission. You are responsible. Responsible for the days you waste. Responsible for the risks you avoid. Responsible for the version of yourself you tolerate. And this is why so many people hate this philosophy. Because it removes excuses. It removes comforting lies. It removes the idea that life will make sense later. Later is not promised. Meaning is not guaranteed, and no one is coming to save you from a life you refuse to live fully. If this is your only life, and it is, then every delayed decision costs you something you can never recover. Time. Not money. Not status. Time. The days you numb yourself, the years you live quietly dissatisfied, the chances you don't take because failure feels uncomfortable. All of it adds up to a life that ends without ever being claimed. Sartre's message is unforgiving, but honest. You don't discover meaning, you create it, and you can only create it through action, responsibility, and presence. Not tomorrow. Not when things feel easier. Now, because once this life is over, there is no explanation, no justification, no chance to say, I would have lived differently. There is only the sum of what you chose. So ask yourself, honestly, not what you want to become, but what you are doing today to deserve that future. Are you living deliberately, or are you letting life happen to you? By now, you should feel it, the weight of reality pressing in. Sartre doesn't offer comfort. He doesn't sugarcoat existence. He forces you to face one undeniable truth. You are responsible for everything in your life, and no one else is. Your life is yours and yours alone. The people around you will continue, indifferent. Your death will be absorbed into their stories, not theirs into yours. The moments you waste, the hours, days, years you hand over to distraction, fear, or comfort will never return. And no one is coming to save you from this reality. If you've been paying attention to what Sartre is telling you, you now know your relevance exists only in presence, your meaning exists only in action, and your freedom exists only when you choose deliberately. Nothing else can give you significance. Nothing else can grant you fulfillment. This is the brutal clarity few people ever face. Most drift through life as spectators, letting circumstances, routines, and other people dictate their existence. They call it living, but it is only existing. They fail to see that every choice, every hesitation, every postponed ambition is a form of quiet surrender. And yet there is hope here. Not in memory, not in approval, not in legacy, but in your ability to own your presence, starting now. You don't need permission to live fully. You don't need guarantees that someone will remember you. You only need the courage to embrace the truth that life is short, fragile, and fleeting, and to act accordingly. Imagine the power in this awareness. The world does not owe you anything, and yet you are free to claim everything that belongs to your present. Every relationship you invest in, every risk you take, every skill you master, all of it becomes yours, not in the distant future, but right now, in real time. You stop waiting for someone to notice. You stop hoping for validation. You stop asking life to save you from yourself. Sartre's lesson is simple, yet devastating. You create your own life, or you let it be created for you by the indifference of the universe. There is no safety net. There is no second chance after death. There is only this moment, and the next, and the next, and the sum of how deliberately you choose to live them. So ask yourself, not rhetorically, not philosophically, but honestly, are you living a life that is yours? Are you taking responsibility for your presence, your decisions, and your freedom? Or are you drifting, hoping someone, something, or some future moment will grant you meaning? The clock is ticking. Life will continue with or without you. Your death will not pause it. Your absence will not break it. The only thing that matters is what you do while you are here. And if you live deliberately, courageously, and fully, if you embrace your freedom and act without delay, then, for once, one life can be enough. Because this is all you get, and if you do it right, it is everything.